There will be a famine in Yemen. It will not be like the famine that we saw in South Sudan earlier in the year, where tens of thousands of people were affected. It will not be like the famine which cost 250,000 people their lives in Somalia in 2011. It will be the largest famine the world has seen for many decades, with millions of victims.
7 million people are facing a famine in war-torn Yemen. This is not the only devastation they are going through. The country is already in the grip of the world's worst cholera outbreak ever since the coalition forces led by Saudi Arabia tightened its blockade on the country last week, keeping vital aid from entering. The Food and Agriculture Organization director says Yemen is witnessing the largest humanitarian crisis today. The crop production last year has already fallen by 40% compared to the pre-conflict average. With over 390,000 cases of cholera in the last 3 months, Yemen is facing the world's worst disease outbreak ever recorded in a single year, according to the Worldwide Development Organization Oxfam. The rapid spread of cholera has already killed almost 2,000 people in the nation, some reporting up to 10,000. Hospitals in the country are feeling the pressure of the more than 2 years of conflict between the Saudi-led coalition and the Iranian-allied Houthi rebels. Patients are coming from 5 surrounding areas, and facilities are overcrowded. One hospital in particular is treating 2,500 people a day, compared to the 700 before the conflict escalated in March of 2015. Less than 45% of the country's medical facilities are still operating. Most have closed from lack of funding, the war, or have been bombed by coalition airstrikes. Aid agencies are now warning that Yemen's already catastrophic crisis could soon become even worse if Saudi Arabia does not ease the blockage of the country's land, sea, and airports. With regional tensions between Iran and Saudi Arabia intensifying, Yemen is trapped in the middle of a proxy war in addition to its own internal power struggle. In response to events that have made the issue more politically relevant, we've seen an outburst of concern on social media. Tensions between Iran and Saudi Arabia have been pushed to the brink. Lebanon's prime minister resigned from the Saudi capital, the missile attack of November 4th, suggestions of Saudi Arabia backing a future war against Hezbollah. Everything is going wrong. Some have even suggested that the starvation of Yemeni citizens is a deliberate tactic by the Saudis to force a collapse in Yemen. We hope that it is reversed immediately, says Rupert Colville, spokesman for the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights. Aid agencies such as the Red Cross have been trying to help, but the shutdown has left them cold. Aid workers have reported a sudden increase in prices as lines for fuel sprung up around the city. The Red Cross said a shipment of chlorine tablets which prevent cholera was prevented from entering Yemen's northern border Monday. Human Rights Watch is calling on Western governments to pressure Saudi Arabia to lift the blockade. Christine Beckerly, the Yemen researcher for Human Rights Watch, said, "The fact of the matter is that there are a bunch of things that states that are allied with Saudi Arabia could be doing, and rather than seeing those sorts of steps towards progress, we are just seeing an escalation of increased restrictions." In Berlin, German foreign minister called for increased aid to Yemen, saying, "No one will be able to say later, especially with respect to Yemen."